What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy. Got another hot video for you all. This is one of the videos I wanted to talk about anyway. I just recently started reading in a manga, an ecchi manga at that, called Reincarnation Coliseum. Now, some of you may be familiar with it. Now, I'm not too sure if this is a doujin or not, but it feels like a doujin. So it was weird that just based on the cover of it, I just had many thoughts and a lot of things went through my head. But I'm gonna try to explain everything as good as possible. In the 3 chapters that I read, it was wild from what I read. And like the first thing I see on like the first page of it is like this right here. Like this right here is what I was seeing on like the first page. Like you would think this is like this is just sexual assault. Like this is what this is from the get-go. And then it goes to, then you think about you look at the next page and it's like, the loser is a slave to the winner. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? I'm like, what the fuck is it? Am I gonna be interested in this the entire time, or what am I gonna get into? So like, just from those 2 pages, you're like, what the fuck am I about to watch? Or what the fuck am I about to read? But like, it turns into something way different, but it still kind of like keeps it. So without further ado, let's go on to like more of this stuff, like Reincarnation Coliseum. Like it tells you right from the jump what this is. It's like you're a slave in a Coliseum for whatever. It doesn't tell you much. But the MC, who is Mikigami Koji, aka Copy-kun, and I'll tell you why he's called Copy-kun soon, but he's pretty much, he narrates it from the little bit from the get-go and says that I became a sword fighting slave in the Coliseum. Sword fighting is not what I would call it, but you know what this turned into. And based on the second page I showed you, if you look at the bottom, it's like this man just got him some ass. So you know where this is going, right? You know where this is going. Okay, just want to make sure. So the guy is summoned via crystals and all kinds of shit that done took place. Some crystals, the priest and high priest who summoned him, and he was too busy like playing League of Legends or some shit. He was playing some game that he just like beat. This man is like undefeated. It reminds me of that anime, what is it called? No Game, No Life?
So much knowledge from another world! Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god!
Where that duo doesn't lose. I believe that's what it's called. But the duo doesn't lose. And he hasn't lost, according to what I've read like throughout this whole thing. But then we get this big titty mommy milker motherfucker. Yes. Her name is Zaid-sama. Now, you can just call her Zaid, but you know, the priest in there called her Zaid-sama. And she just, like, she lewd as fuck. And she's just explaining the situation to him and all this. And she's letting him know that, hey, we summoned you to fight for us. And we hope that your skills that you have, you know, will make up for the 1,000 crystals that we lost. Because they use 1,000 crystals to summon beings from another world to fight for them, for their country. So she makes it clear. She tells him what's what. And of course, like you said before, he became a slave to the Coliseum. And you're about to find out why in just a minute. So with her saying all that, the priest, not the high priest, the priest look at his skills and they're over there talking like, well, you know, Zaid-sama, like, this guy, his skills, he has no skills. He's like, he's trash. He has nothing unique. The only skill that he has is copy, which means he can only copy, you know, the opposition. He can only copy their abilities. So this puts Zaid-sama in a sour mood. And she gives the most disgusting face to him that he's ever seen. And then he reacts with, you know, why are you reacting that way? Is it a bad skill? And then, you know, Copy-kun is just like, that's the best skill I have? Like, is copy? And if you look, it's like a good old reference. There's a reference like right in there. It shows like Perfect Cell in there. You can tell by the silhouettes that it's Perfect Cell, clearly. And you're just like, what the fuck? Like, what is happening here? And then she goes ballistic on the priest. She's like, we wasted all these fucking crystals on someone so worthless? Because apparently, in this world, if you have the copy skill, you're weak. Now, to me personally, I don't consider the ability to copy somebody weak, but it is at like a lower level, the power of it. So I can see why they would consider it like kind of weak. But if you know how to like work it well and use it, you can beat the original user of that skill. So it makes perfect sense. But again, Zayd Sama went off on him, and the priest and everybody were just like, what the fuck? This is your true colors? This is your true colors. And then like right after that, she's like, get him the fuck out of here. Like, get him out of here. He does not need to be here. Get him out. I'm so sick of him. And he's, Mikagami's just like, what am I gonna do now? And she's like, we're gonna take you to the Coliseum, which is where he's gonna go. We're gonna take you to the Coliseum, and that's where you're gonna like be useful, because those who doesn't have unique skills are essentially slaves to the Coliseum, as he said in like the beginning. You become slaves to the Coliseum. And then the fucking guard like just boots him in there. And of course Mikagami's like pleading his case and all that stuff, and it's just like, listen, I'm this, and this, like, and the other guys are like laughing at him. The other ones in there, and like, I could have showed the other panels of them in there laughing and whatnot, but like he just started pleading his case and say that he's no ordinary slave, yada yada yada. But then he meets his partner, I should say, a partner of his, or I mean, I guess you could say just a friend so far, and her name is Zulu. She's a prisoner, and she's a sword fighter. And then she tells him like what happens to those that become slaves. And as she's telling him, he's getting like so like pale in the face. He's just like, oh my God. And this panel right here that I had to censor is what happens to those who lose. Zulu states that if you lose, you get breeded. Like, I was like, what the fuck? I was like, what is this? Like, what is this horny ass shit? What is this horny ass shit I'm reading now? You get breeded. And then Mikagami's like, well, I'm a man, so I can't get breeded. But Zulu explains that even if you're a man, they have ways of turning you into a girl in this world and breeding you. The girl will grow a schlong and breed you. And this turns into what is going to be Mikagami's first fight. And Zulu tells him that it's going to be Torture Mary. But before we do that, Mikagami has a plan in place. And he's just like, well, if that's the case, I'm going to take advantage of my ability. Since I've never lost in the game, I'm going to treat this like a game and succeed at it because I've never lost. So he's like cackling and everything. He becomes like this overlord. And he's just like, and Zulu's like, what the fuck? What? I just told you all the bad things, and you're like saying you're gonna turn this around? That's pretty much how this went, that exchange. But then, like I said, we get into Torture Mary. Let me tell you something. This panel right here is wild. It is the wildest shit. I mean, this is straight up out of a hentai. Straight up out of a hentai, I'm telling you. This bitch is like got her whole heel in this slave's ass, and it's just like puncturing it. And of course, I guess you can say the attendant came to get her and let her know that, hey, you got another fighter coming, get prepared, this and that. And she just like comes out of nowhere with this crazy ass dialogue saying like she's decided she's gonna castrate this man and keep him as my bitch for the rest of his life. Like, bro, she's gonna make Mikagami her bitch for the rest of his life. Like, straight up, gonna cut his balls off and just make, like, bro. And then of course she explains that when she does it, she'll just like heal him and revive him, all that shit, so he'll remain a girl, da da da. But I was like, bro, getting your balls cut off? Like, she wants to like remove them, girl, breed you. She's gotta go give you the whole business. So we move on to the fight, and of course she's coming out like Queen Bee and shit. I was just like, oh fuck. This is the Queen Bee. And she lets him know from the jump, like, she takes her slave, licks her face, and says, like, it looked like some damn human centipede shit based on what I was looking at. Like, and the panels, if I didn't have to censor it so much, you could definitely tell by the panels. You'll be like, bro, that's like some human centipede shit going on there. And y'all know human centipede was gross. If you haven't watched that, do not watch it. I recommend do not watching it. It's fucking gross. But she's like, I'm gonna breed you like a motherfucker. Like, it's just crazy. And of course, he lets the crowd know that he's gonna beat this trickster. It was funny as hell. It was funny as hell that he said that and gave us the iconic middle finger, which was wild. Like, bro, this whole fucking shit is wild. Like, I'm telling you, it is so fucking wild. This whole Dojin manga, whatever it is. And then, like, right after that, she, like, just throws fireballs every fucking where. Like, fireballs going everywhere, but this man has the ability to teleport now. He copied that ability from Zulu, who can teleport. So he's doing all that, and he's, like, backstepping, doing all this shit like he's in fucking Street Fighter 5 or something, doing all these backsteps and teleporting everywhere, like, doing some yoga. Like, he doused him. Like, I was like, what the fuck? I was like, what am I reading now? Is this really about to turn into a real battle? And so, like, she's using Purgatory Flame. Torture Mary's using Purgatory Flame, which is a nice, name for a fire technique. I mean, we all get Naruto. We get like fireball juices or some shit like that. But this right here was so dope. Like, I love the fact that she was like using all these flames and telling like, you're going to end up like all the rest of her victims and all this stuff. It was like, it was crazy looking at that. But he ends up getting the upper hand on her, throwing her off her game, right? He headbutts her. He headbutts the shit out of her in her spine, in her back. I mean, I was gonna say spine, but I guess you could say it's both. But she gets knocked down, and he's like, this is like game, set, match. And of course, the crowd's like, yeah, do it, just like I showed you on the first two. What happens? That motherfucker she got breeded right there, and was not taken to the room. So he like threatens her and whatnot, and then it's like at the end, it was so funny when I was translating this because not all the chapters are translated, and I only did like 3 of them, and it was almost like he said, "Just kidding," or some shit like that. It was something weird when I was translating that, and it couldn't have been correct. But she succeeds in the battle, like she surrenders to him, and Zayd is like pissed. Zayd's almost like pissed. She's like, you like Torture Mary lost to a fucking copy guy? Like, this dude can only do copy. How did you lose? Like, and of course it's just like, what the fuck? But when you move on from there, like he gets ownership of Torture Mary, or I should just say Mary at this point, because she's not torturing nobody no more. And the first thing he does, after meeting with Zulu and telling her about all this stuff, and she like congratulates him and all this, the first thing they do is he wants some action. So this motherfucker goes get some aphrodisiacs, and if they take it, it's potent as fuck. He takes his first, then he gives her the eye like, you better take it, you bitch. Like, I was like, what the fuck? And then this man just goes to work. I mean, this is like the pro tag of any hentai. It was the funniest shit I've ever seen in my life. I'm telling y'all, this is different. This was just so different. But after like he bangs out Mary, and she's like in love with him at that point. I mean, something like that. I haven't read chapter 4 and 5 yet, which are kind of out, but I have to translate those. But besides that, like, he goes on to talk to Zulu about some things, and of course, like the match is ahead and what to look forward to at the Coliseum now that he's won, this and that. And Zulu is like, her main goal is, I'm pretty sure, is to take down Zayd-sama. Like, I'm pretty sure that's what it was talking about. It's talking about taking down Zayd-sama, and he's like on board with that. But before they can go up to that level or get to that, they got some other people they need to fight, and there were some pretty cute fighters up in there. But the one I can't wait to like read about is the Brawler. Like, Brawler Bay, like peak design. And I've seen so much on social media about her, and I've seen so much about like spoilers, and I really don't want to believe it, but it was nuts when I was seeing this shit, and I try to avoid it as much as I can. And I was just like, man, this design is fucking peak for like a brawler, like striker brawler type character. Like, what's this, DNF duel? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like this was so, it was so great. It was so great. But that is the end of my 3 chapters that I've read of Reincarnation Coliseum. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you stayed this long, thank you. You're probably one of the ones that subscribed in December. I want to give a big shout out to them for being part of the plus 80 that I got subscribed in December. You guys made my year fantastic, and it was the end. Hope to see more of you this year on my Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, Twitch. I hope to see more of you on there. Discord underway. We'll try to get some conversations going there. Anyway, holla at your boy. I'm out of here.